Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's edition of the Justice Review. Fitting name.
I never thought we'd be reviewing this.
Yeah.
Where we like to take our favorite shows, where they're in the realm of sci-fi. Do we care if they're in the realm of horror?
I'll do a little bit.
What about superhero?
We love superheroes.
Well, that's fitting because we're talking about one today. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Put in your seatbelts and put on your diapers because we're going to talk about the Snyder Cut. That's right. The people on the internet screamed, they ranted and raved, and they got what they wanted. They got a 4-hour movie dedicated to the Justice League. And we're going to break it down for you guys. We're going to go, of course, start off with the goods. So let's go around the room. No, screw that. Let's talk about the goods. What were some of the goods from the Snyder Cut?
I like that the story was more developed. It made more sense to me. And I liked the character development that we had.
You can do that in 4 hours. Christian.
Ooh.
That's tough, huh?
Put me on the spot here.
We're just going around.
So I will say this. They did change some things around that I thought were cringeworthy and terrible in the original Justice League movie. A prime example of this. The scene where Superman is beating everybody's ass, that got changed around a lot. If you remember in the original Justice League movie, he lifts Batman up in the air and drops him, and then
No, he bitch slaps him.
in the original one?
In the original, it was
Into
a
the
bitch
car.
slap.
Into the car.
Well, whatever happened, like, he takes him into the air.
Yeah, because he's like, do you bleed?
Yeah.
Well,
And then,
yeah, because he zooms and then he chokes him, right?
and then he drops him, and then there's, like, a scene where he's on the ground, and, like, he looks so undignified, and I'm like,
Pathetic.
yeah, so pathetic and undignified. I'm like, you broke the fantasy you in. Like now all I see is a dumbass in a costume. I don't see Batman.
Like you saw the leather as it was separated.
Yeah, like, thank you. That's what I'm trying to
It looked like an actual, like a costume.
Another thing that they cut out that was stupid as fuck. That intro where he's fighting the sniper or whatever. Hi, Superman. How are you? You talking about with the I forgot about that, but I'm glad they cut that out too. I'm talking about when Batman was fighting the robber on the rooftop, and then he fought the parademon, and I'm like, we just not even gonna try with this wire. Like we cut some shit out that was rightfully shit.
Another good part is like,
Wow, just...
who said we was going around? I said talking about we gonna go. I said
I literally did what I said.
yeah, but I said screw that. No, go ahead.
All right, fine. You go.
No, go ahead.
You sure? All right.
Okay, fuck you. Okay, my good for the episode. I actually liked the explanation behind Cyborg's power. The in-depth and the animated look that they gave behind the visuals behind it, that shows why he's a very powerful being on Earth. But I love the specs that they gave behind him and how they showed the greatness that he could possibly be, and also showed how devastating he can be in the same sentence on why he decides what kind of hero he's gonna be. Even the scene where, he sees his lady struggling and he decides to help her out. It was a little weird because he was kind of stalking her, but at the end, he helps his lady out, and it shows that he has like this godlike presence where he can survey the world and help where he needs to.
Can I piggyback off of what you just said?
Before you do that, I will say they kind of did that on Doom Patrol too.
I never watched Doom Patrol.
That's fine. But Cyborg on there was trying to like connect with people, and he tried like online dating. But he was like looking at the girl through like security as she was typing back to him and stuff. And when she saw who he was, she got grossed out, and he had a real time reaction to that because he saw what he shouldn't have been looking at. But yeah, they do this whole Big Brother thing.
At least this one wasn't being weird about it.
Yeah. But the piggyback what you were saying, another few things that they cut out, which I feel like was to the benefit of the Cyborg character was I think the last movie had the tendency to kind of shit on him, specifically with Aquaman, because if you remember in the first movie, Aquaman was trying to fight him and shit because he was being aggro and was on steroids.
He's been a dude, bro.
Fuck you fucking fucked it up for us. That little Superman beat our ass. You're a traitor, and they was about to fight. And I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you cut that out. We didn't need that in the movie. As a matter of fact, Aquaman acts completely different to him in this one. Like, he's literally like, his dad died because we suck. So we need to get better. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? I know I'm great, but like, that boy's dad died because the rest of you are trash. Get the fuck together.
I mean, if you guys all wear puka shell that smell like high karate, maybe we wouldn't be sucking as much.
That's what they were sniffing in that sweater. So I'm glad they did that for the Cyborg character.
Another good that I'm glad that they did was when they were digging up Superman's body. And wait, we'll get that in a second. And the Flash mentions, he's like, we could have done this like a nanosecond. And they look at each other like, well, we're trying to give reference to the body, which is why we're trying to dig it up by hand.
The way they both looked at the headstone, it looked like they were both trying to be respectful of the corpse that's in front of them, and that's why the Flash was like, "Yeah, he was my hero."
To that.
We will get that. Y'all hold.
You're right. All right. So a good that I liked was I liked the last fight between them and Steppenwolf.
Okay.
Like even Wonder Woman and Aquaman against Steppenwolf and Superman showing up. Like he did not hold back. I also have a bad, I don't know if I want to call it a bad or just I have a question mark. I'm going to ask you when we get to the bad.
Okay, that's cool. Like I said, everybody hold still. We're going to get there.
It's not really, I think I can ask you now. How strong is Superman?
We will get there in a minute. Like I said, we will get there in a minute. Everybody hold. Let's get through these goods. It's hard enough. All right, John.
Okay, I got a couple of good. One, I like Aquaman. I like Jason Momoa's character in this movie. He stayed in his lane. He shut the fuck up. And when he had something to say, he said it, and it was on point. They didn't go over the top with him. He wasn't, when you really scale back and look at the grand scheme of things, it might have looked like he didn't have that much development.
It was literally like, I'm going to go save some people, and I'm going to go talk to Mirror. I'm going to go save some people, and I'm going to go talk to Mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got kind of...
I only saw him speaking to Mirror one time.
Well, like, wasn't the Green Goblin like...
William
He was like, avenge me!
Wasn't Mirror there too?
Yes, she was.
So, who has the next good?
My other good is, so I felt in the comics for a while that when it comes to Wonder Woman, DC has kind of just don't know what the fuck to do with her. I feel the same thing about Batman and Superman, but that's not towards this. And one of the things I've always said that they should do in the comics is, what would really change the game up with Wonder Woman is if they just made her like a Tomb Raider-like explorer. They did that in this movie, and I'll give Snyder that. They did it so stupid.
Well, hold. We will get there.
Okay.
Any more goods?
I liked that we actually got to see about the relationship between Victor and his dad. Because at first it was hitting me like, oh, daddy doesn't love me, and then I was like, I don't want to see this. But then it reached more into more of him blaming him for his mom's death, and now the way he is currently, and basically him just holding on to the anger of it. So I like that we have more of a development in their relationship. And yeah.
Yeah, because in the first movie it was like, fuck you, Dad. And he was like, well, okay then.
And then at the end, like there.
And then at the end, he was like,
damn, if you do this, then you can look like a real superhero. You know what? You're right.
Any more goods? Okay, now look, I'm not. Like, do you got something or not?
No, I do.
Okay, fuck it. We gonna add it. We'll add it in retroactively because I need to get this out my spirit. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now that we've gone through the goods, let's get into those bad stop. I'll go in first.
I got it now. I don't care who got next.
I mean,
So-
that's fine. That you're right.
So the way that the mother box said that it was safe to come out to play is because Superman died screaming like a bitch so hard that it echoed around the world. How do you piss on a superhero so hard that you bring his death up like that?
I'll tell you how. Y'all didn't. I don't know if y'all noticed this, but did you notice the scene with Lois's pregnancy test?
I tried to block that out. I didn't.
When after the Martian Manhunter shit, which was also stupid.
We're gonna get back to that.
There's a scene where before Superman comes back to life, when she wakes up that morning to pull out her daily planet pass, which I'm sorry, by that time Perry should have fired her, but I mean he let a dead motherfucker come back and do his job at the end, so whatever. And it's almost like Snyder wanted to emphasize pregnancy, see? Because he kept focusing on the pregnancy test, even though the shot was supposed to be her Daily Planet badge. And then at the end of the movie, she's carrying like baby toys and shit.
So it was padding. That's why I didn't.
It's an implication that she.
It was an implication that she was pregnant.
Well, she's about to be.
Nah.
Snyder already said that the next two movies would have been
Batman fucking Lois.
it would have been revealed that Lois and Batman had a relationship and she was having Batman's baby, but Superman, oh, you don't know about this, but Superman thought it was his baby. And then Batman dies in movie like 2 or 3. And then when the boy grows up, he's a regular human and he doesn't have powers. And come to find out, they find out it was Batman's kid. And then Superman's like, but you're still my son.
No.
Somebody let me go.
Wait.
You gotta let her have it.
Let me go.
It has to pertain to the movie.
It does pertain to the movie.
Okay, go.
Because first of all, I'm gonna go to Batman vs Superman when he was antagonizing and racist towards an alien. And then we see that look into the future where Superman's the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Common denominator, Batman.
Mm-hmm.
This movie at the end where Superman's the bad guy, common denominator, Batman. So I'm like, and from what you just said, common denominator, Batman. So I'm like, so
That
yes,
is
he's
the problem. It's the whole ass problem.
And I've heard multiple times that Bruce, you assembled this team. This is your team. I was like, yeah, he assembled the team.
No, he
He's
didn't.
But he's the reason why the fucking team died. That's the team. But the rest of the world cut that motherfucker out.
First of all, wait, no. First of all, Lex Luthor is the
I was
reason
about to
why.
say that. I was about to say that.
Okay, go ahead.
Lex Luthor assembled this team.
Yes, he did.
So
You see the iPad with all the trailers on it.
He gave them cool symbols.
All right, bring the room down.
All right. Can I get to a bad?
Go for it.
All right. So my bad. Going back to that so loving Martha and Lois scene that I felt like really brought out. Was like, okay, we need
It
to
was
move
padding.
past. It was padding, but it was like, okay, we need to give Amy Adams something to do. All right, you've been out of work. You need to go back to work. Come back to the world. You've been grieving. Blah blah blah. All right, mother to almost daughter. Blah blah blah. All right, bye. Martian Manhunter.
do you
Why?
care? Especially if you was passing off as the general this entire time. You mean you flew from your fucking base to Lois Lane's front door to say, hey, maybe you should go back to work.
First of all, let me say this. And Martian Manhunter, we gonna dig in that ass on his feet.
We'll do it right after this.
But before we go down that line, all I gotta say is Lois Lane. You could have took all her scenes outside of the park, went out, and it would have made a difference.
You mean like Joss Whedon did?
Like Josh Whedon did.
Okay.
Her parts made no effect on the movie outside of her being in the park.
And I would say Zack Snyder does not know what to do with Lois Lane.
Zack Snyder doesn't know what to do with Superman characters in general, as being so that, oh, I forgot to tell you that Batman's son would have become the new Batman by the end of the third movie. But what really I'll push back a little bit on taking all the Lois things out. You kind of had to, the only reason Lois matters is because if you remember, Lois is the king!
But Lois is the key doesn't matter until Justice League 2 or 3.
No,
Yeah.
Lois is the key. It mattered when
Superman
Batman vs Superman said Lois Lane is the
gonna
key,
turn-
but it made sense in Justice League when they
it
made
made
it think
sense
that
there.
he had Lois Lane on speed dial.
Yeah, it made sense there. And
Well, he did, because he was apparently clapping them cheeks. Now that we from judged by Snyder.
Hold on.
Talking about Batman, he was like, hey,
no,
baby,
no.
I need you to come
No.
over. Your old boyfriend is fucking shit up.
No. I want to stick. I don't want speculations. I want everything to pertain to the movie.
I got a bad. It's a generalization of what's wrong with this whole movie. For all of the stuff, for all of the shit that he took out of the first movie, then he adds some stuff in there, and it's equal, if not worse, shit.
it didn't make it. It didn't
Like
make the
the
film
Martian Manhunter thing, like that. The only thing you told us about that is that the Martian Manhunter is a piece of shit.
Yes.
Like that's the only thing that scene served. So he was the general. We getting into Martian
We about to
Manhunter?
get into it.
Okay, I'll lead this.
Go for
So General Swanswick, aka Martian Manhunter,
AKA Harry Lennox.
let an alien invasion come to Earth,
Yes.
and he's a general, and you just not gonna suit up? You was just gonna do general shit and use tanks and shit to defeat the Kryptonians?
Not to mention they destroyed an entire city.
If Superman hadn't existed, you would have had to suit up.
Well,
And he was-
not just that. Not you sent soldiers to die.
When you could have
Stay or die.
Another thing, at the end of Man of Steel, he had the audacity to say, "How do I know you won't act against the interests of the United States of America?" Nigga, he grew up here.
Thank you.
You're one planet over. You're from Mars. You what?
Exactly.
So-
and let's. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say at max he was here 5 years before Man of Steel. Because I'm not gonna say you should have stopped Wonder Woman 1984 or you should have stopped the first Wonder Woman. We're not gonna assume he's been on the Earth since World War One.
I am. And I'll tell you why.
But not only did you not do anything in Man of Steel, but then a whole ass witch pops off in Suicide Squad and is like, well, yeah, I ain't fucking with that shit either. And then Batman vs. Superman pops off, and you know Lex Luthor is a piece of shit, and the only thing you care about is who shot this bullet that kid that framed Superman for some rando's death in Batman v Superman, instead of, you know, Superman wouldn't have died if you had fought the Dark Doomsday with them. So you want me to break down how stupid that scene was you just pointed out? The Martian Manhunter is telepathic. You don't need to go looking for clues and shit. Read a motherfucker's mind and you got what you need.
So you said that you won't say that the Martian Manhunter was here even during World War II or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How does he know who Darkseid is?
Hold on. This is the most disrespectful.
Maybe he read Bruce's mind.
Probably.
And this is the most disrespectful shit right here. At the end of the movie, he come knocking on Bruce Wayne's door. I got you next time. I would have been like,
Like, here's an IOU for my husband.
I would have been like, you've been here the
like, no Kryptonians, no Green Lantern. Alright, let's get in our bullshit. He didn't say where's the Martian at, so that let me know Martians are bitches and they would have lost the
He also didn't say where's the guys at, even though it was guys.
He probably didn't know who two pieced up Darkseid. He wasn't there.
Which gets me to my
Wait
next.
a minute.
Wait.
Maybe that's why Darkseid's like, you're on my shit list. Where would you live when I was getting
Probably like, yeah, Darkseid, we gonna go down, we gonna whoop their ass, and then they get down there and Zeus and them is fucking them up, and he's like,
He comes back with his ass. Did I miss it?
Wait. Now there's a reason why in the Josh Whedon story it made sense that Steppenwolf came here, and he lost, and that's probably why Darkseid ain't fucking with him, because he lost the mother boxes and some other stuff. In the Snyder cut, Darkseid
capital D
comes to Earth. Christian explains what happened to Darkseid.
So he comes to Earth talking mad shit. Everybody getting ready to go. Like, you see guys, you see a Green Lantern, you see some Atlanteans and shit like that. And so Darkseid steps off of the ship, and a Green Lantern is like, I got this. The Green Lantern gets pieced up. And I timed this too. The Green Lantern gets pieced up, he died. So Zeus and Ares like, okay, so we know his weakness, because I guess they found that somehow. Zeus shoots lightning at him, and then I think he like punches him with glowing fists and shit like that. And then Ares comes in with his axe and puts the axe right in his shoulder, and like all the parademons carrying him back. Pull back. Darkseid looking like, wait, I wasn't ready. Why did you do that?
So wait. There's some pieces you missed out. So first, and I know people say, but that was Uxas. No. No.
You want to know how we know it's not Uxas?
he had the Omega Force.
No. Why did Diana refer to him as Darkseid?
Exactly. And that's where Snyder fucked up. Had she referred to him as Uxas, that would have cleared a lot of shit up. But she literally read the text and said fucking Darkseid.
But not only that, he had the Omega Force. You slightly exaggerated it, but he came down to Earth and there was a montage of him fucking some people up. And in one of those montages, he was underwater and he shot his Omega
No,
beam.
that's different.
That was a Peek into the Future.
That was
a cyborg. Vision.
Okay.
But hold up. But there was a couple things you missed. He touches the ground, hits it, and uncovers the anti-life equation.
That's weird.
Okay, so not disregarding all that, there's a moment where Steppenwolf is like, oh, that planet that we lost, it's this one, I just found out what it was. And Darkseid was like, oh, the lost planet. So I'm like, so you got your ass whooped on one out of hundreds of thousands of planets, and you just blocked it from your memory.
That's what you do with trauma.
So there wasn't like a map of the stars with like a big X, like exclude.
Don't fucking go here.
It's even deeper than that. You guys are missing some things. So check this out. So he pops out the mall, gets his ass whooped. Mind you, there's armies there. Motherfuckers were still on a boat. Motherfuckers were just getting off horses, and they pulling this motherfucker back on the ship like, fix me, dog. He gets work, they drop the mother boxes, and they run.
And then Steffi comes on with his shit.
But before Steffi comes back, so Darkseid goes back. He gets the Omega beam. He gets the contract and everything. But you know what he never does? Come back to get his shit. So he was so shook of what happened on Earth that he stayed his punk ass on Apocalypse because he was afraid to catch that biscuit.
Get Steppenwolf to get the mother box.
And how are we supposed to view Darkseid now?
As a bitch. Because now he gets punked twice. So the second time he gets punked is when Steppenwolf gets folded. and he gets his head chopped off. A portal opens up to Apocalypse, and they throw the body in front of him.
Honestly, was just fucking unnecessary.
Yeah,
he was already down.
He was down. Aquaman had already stabbed him in the heart. He was giving him his shit back. And then Wonder Woman's like, because I gotta do something too. And chopped his head off. I'm like...
I actually agree with that, though.
I mean, one for good luck. If you're shooting a zombie, you stab it in the chest, but you still take
It's
the
called
head
sending
off.
a message.
Exactly.
But not
Double
just
tap.
but not just that. 7 assholes just tossing trash into your. Sorry.
Martian Manhunter one day.
6
Yeah.
He might have been
Wait.
He the Steppenwolf of the Justice League.
6 assholes just toss trash in front of you and like fuck with it. If you was about your business,
Step right out of that.
So who was the one that beat?
Zod, get him out.
but what he do? He's like, nah, I'm not gonna fuck with y'all. I got some food on the stove and stuff.
I'll be back. I'll be back again.
I'm just mad that let's talk about Superman. Okay. He comes back to life.
Wait, before you go on that, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
One thing I loved about the Josh Whedon version was that there was conflict in the group about whether to bring Superman back to life. There was a morality clause on the table that says, 1, we do not know how to use the mother box. 2, we do not know how this is going to interact with Kryptonian DNA. And 3, we do not know what we're breaking back to life. And they actually discussed it. In this version, it's like, let's just do it.
Exactly. Like in the last one, Batman was all for it, but Wonder Woman and Aquaman were the main ones saying, no, let's not do this, and Barry was just unsure. So Ray's like, listen, it's begging me not to do this. Do you guys still want to do it? And Batman just like, over everybody, yes, do it! Do it! You a little too enthusiastic.
Batman is the problem.
Listen, but like, it made, that particular scene made less sense about this, and the whole fight scene about it, they made it more of Cyborg's fault instead of like honing in that Aquaman was on the defense because they weren't sure what Superman they were gonna get, and Ray was just reacting to the way Superman was reacting to Aquaman. But in this one, Ray was reacting to the way Superman was just like, who are you? And
But you mentioned it.
So Superman. And I say Superman, but I'm couching it in a whole overall bad whip. We said this before, but there was a lot of things in this movie that was unnecessary, repetitive, and
slow motion.
yeah. And even without slow motion, things that slows down the movie. Superman, for example.
Like the white girl singing at the beach to Aquaman.
That was so uncomfortable and weird.
So keep going, sorry.
What about the ancient lamentations every time Wonder Woman was on screen?
That was weird too. I was like,
I'm just like, every time?
We don't do this every time.
because I downloaded it, because I watched this on HBO. I thought it was anti-download, like this is what you get for download.
But keep going.
As someone who streamed it legally, that's there throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, it was so weird.
But keep going.
So Superman comes back to life and he's like, I gotta go check on moms, I gotta go check on Lois and this baby that's not mine. And then, and I get that, you know, he just came back to Earth. He got to straighten some things out.
But nigga, they woke you up for a reason.
Yeah, and he said that. He told Lois, but nigga, they woke me up for a reason. And then he goes to his
Bruce Wayne's house.
No.
He
Before
goes
he goes to the spaceship, and he's just like, "What suit am I gonna whoop ass in today?" That one, boo. And then he picks the black suit.
He just wasn't the ship in the government's possession.
Yeah, but I mean, it was Star Labs had it.
Okay,
And everybody just walking up in there anyway. So whatever.
but
And even if it wasn't a government possession, who's gonna stop him? Martian Manhunter?
what were you saying?
So then he goes to Alfred's house to shoot the shit, and Alfred's like, you better get your ass over to Russia. And so then he goes over there, and it's like, motherfucker, they need you now. And Look, the Superman black suit was unnecessary. There was no reason for the suit other than it looks cool and Zack Snyder wanted to see him in the suit.
In the comic books,
Has the black suit ever had the cape?
no,
Yeah, no, it didn't.
because what it
Because
had
his
was
bullet was the cape when he wore it.
because he had he had a charger in the chest that helped him supply his body with sunlight so that he could restore himself a lot faster.
Yeah, and he didn't have a cape because he had a mullet. It was the 90s.
It wasn't just an aesthetic choice, like, I'm going to put on a black suit today. It was an actual purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But that's Zack Snyder just referencing things without purpose.
Yeah, without purpose or reason or cause.
You know, like
And-
Aquaman saving some rando dude just so we can get a shot of him drinking whiskey on the shoreline. And
I
smash
mean, they
him.
did that in the Whedon cut too.
No,
so,
they didn't.
Yes, they did.
They did.
Mhm.
Okay.
But the thing that was missing from
Cut
that
that.
scene was that the whole reason that Aquaman ended up going to Atlantis was because the guy was raving on about, a beam that came from the sky and disturbed everything, and that's why Aquaman went
You
to
gotta check this
Atlantis.
shit out.
Like in this one, he was like, "Oh, I was in the neighborhood, and I just decided to pass by, and I saw you getting your ass kicked, so I said." And-
Because that's what this Aquaman. Why are y'all such bitches? Just be like me.
One thing I liked about the scene, we're not on goods right now, but I liked seeing Mira's power set because we didn't see it in the original one. But in this one, when she takes all the other water out of the way and then starts drawing the liquids from Steppenwolf's body, I like that part a lot.
So getting back to Superman's suit, I would have given it a pass. If he was like, I'm gonna wear black to go whoop Steppenwolf's ass, cause I want Darkseid to see, motherfucker, I'm gonna be on your shit next.
Like, there's going to be your funeral today.
But then, at the end of the movie, he's Clark Kent again, and he's like, some bullshit's gone down, and he opens his shirt, and he still has the black suit on.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
He did.
Oh, he did have it
He
on.
was on some New Life, New Me shit.
So let's go to.
I got a bad. I don't care how many cuts you do of this movie and who directed it and shit like that. It's ridiculous and just kind of cringy that we needed a scene where the Justice League digs up Superman's body because they need to bring him back to life because we're too fucking weak to take on Steppenwolf of all people.
But that's weird because in the scene when they're fighting near Gotham Bridge, they handle him.
Yes.
They whoop his
Steppenwolf,
But
ass.
it's not even just that. Like, y'all don't think so. And here's the thing, yeah, because Snyder cut this, and obviously it was rated R. It was obvious because of the decapitation and all the shits and fucks that were thrown around. Not to mention the graphic, I guess, murder of Harley Quinn, but we'll get to that later. That was described to us at the end of the movie. But like, when Whedon made this movie, he of course had to make this PG-13, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we need to sell that merch.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all didn't think that a scene where superheroes go dig up a fucking grave of another one, y'all didn't think that was a bad idea?
I just thought it was another thing with Snyder, because he's obsessed with folks digging up graves in this movie. Because, and this was another thing and this is why you cut fucking movies. This is why movies get cut down. So, Cyborg's daddy comes in and he's like, get the box, get rid of it, at the beginning of the movie. And Cyborg's like, fuck you, Dad, you don't know my feelings. And he's like, alright, well, whatever. Just get rid of the box. And he leaves.
I gotta go to work.
So then, later, Wonder Woman's looking for him, and he's like, meet me in a trap. So then he goes, and Cyborg comes over, and he's got the box in this bag.
Is that the box or is it just a duffel bag?
It's
the box.
It's the box. What clothes he wearing?
Remember he puts on that one zipper hoodie?
Mm-hmm. So then And you describe it best. That he meets Wonder Woman and describe the exchange.
The exchange was, and this speaks to another bad in this, which is the dialogue is fucking stupid. The exchange was, "Why are you looking for me?" or some bullshit like that, and she said something like,
It's something along the lines of, "You know why I'm looking for you," and he's like, "Because you need help with this or that," and she's like, "Yeah."
And he's all like, "Fuck the world." She's like, "No, you don't really feel that way because I used to feel that way and I'm still trying to care."
Deep tread that.
So there's more to this scene. Go ahead.
And so then he's like, "Well, fuck you," and he leaves. And so then he goes to his mom's grave and he buries the mother box in the grave. Cut to later, after they won that Steppenwolf fight and he ran away, they're like, "Well, he's got the last box. He's going after the last box. We gotta find the last box." And then Cyborg rolls up like, "I got the last
So
box."
when did you go re-dig up your mother's grave to get this?
Actually,
shit?
it was in his own grave. 'Cause
Him
it
and
was
his
on-
mom
Okay.
are buried next to
When
each
did he
other.
go to his own grave to get the
He
box?
probably flew there.
But y'all don't see how unnecessary that is.
Why did you
as
have
a
to bury it
person?
in the first place?
Like, exactly, like, you could have put it back in your closet. That was so unnecessary.
Well, I think it was because the parademons already went to his house.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that. Now the parademons are specifically built to find pieces of the mother box, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a person made out of stuff from the mother box, and you tell me they couldn't find Cyborg?
And that was always weird to me because they would roll up on folks and be like, "You sniffed the mother box earlier, so I know you had it."
You took
But
a shit.
Yeah.
You took a shit next to the mother box.
But Cyborg is made up of mother box, and they like, well, who's that?
Which, I'm going back to the whole Diana thing. So, Cyborg is in his feels because he looked like Who Shot John. And the whole thing is he want to be by himself. You literally control the internet. There was no way that they were going to be able to track you down. You went out of your way to show them where you were just to tell them to go fuck themselves. That's what a child does.
Like, you could have did that to her on the internet and said, "Leave me the fuck alone." You could have did that and let that be it. Because you know how they should have found Cyborg? The world's greatest detective should have tracked him down. He didn't do no detecting in this movie.
He don't detect shit.
Why is he a good Batman?
Snyder's Batman doesn't detect.
He couldn't find shit if it fell out his ass and hit the floor. No.
So, can I get a Batman?
Yeah.
All right. Damn, almost forgot.
Oh, I got plenty.
So many. So many.
Let's talk about.
I don't want to get to the end yet.
No. Let's talk about the Flash. So the
We haven't
Flash.
done it yet?
No,
We
he
out here.
been hiding. Come on out, Barry.
Before we go to Flash, I want you to talk about our girl Wonder Woman Cave Explorer.
Oh yeah. Wonder Woman. That's my bad. Okay.
And her supersonic heels.
Yes.
Well, you start first.
So Zack Snyder, a paragon of feminism, decides that he is so pro woman.
Don't use that word paragon.
He pro-black too. Did you see all those blacks that died in the movie?
He decides that Wonder Woman is going to explore a tomb. And remember, this is in my good. I enjoyed that because I was like, that's what Wonder Woman or Diana Prince should do in the comics. But she's wearing high heels.
And a dress.
In the most fashionable sense, the cave explorer you've ever seen.
Now, maybe she could be doing it because I got money for some inexplicable reason. Fuck these clothes, I'll buy some more. But I think she was doing it because Zack Snyder needs her to look hot doing everything at all times.
Hold on to that.
So
No, keep going.
So my bad with Wonder Woman.
Wait.
We're
hold
still
on.
on that?
We're still on that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So because she has to look hot in everything that she does, she makes this impossible drop from an ungodly height to land in this pit, wearing heels. I don't care how strong she is.
That's what I said. I'm like, yeah, in Wonder Woman 1984, you had these wedges made out of your own armor. So I can understand why they could stand the blast, but these are just regular heels. How are you landing on these and not snapping one of them?
But it goes even further.
Especially when we saw that the Flash ran out of his shoes for that cringy scene.
He busted out.
But before we go down, we still staying on Diana because I want to point out something.
I want a piece of that.
Okay. So Diana Prince, the lady who's been trying to hide from humanity and all this stuff, trying to be the average woman. But no matter where she goes or what she does, even if she's at work, working on a dusty old sculpture, has to be in the most expensive, gaudy thing that can be. She's wearing all white while she's dusting the statue.
Listen,
in heels. Like, why would any woman need to do that?
elegance has no bounds. Just say you're uncultured.
But that's cool. But
Say you have no fashion sense and go.
But
why would you wear white to white
Because
dust
she
on
can
yourself?
afford it.
That doesn't make any sense.
With what job?
That doesn't make any sense.
With
Like
what money? I'm sorry.
So
She's
before,
had decades to collect.
before we get into Flash, did anyone spot the secret superhero?
Wait. Still on.
Oh, we still on
Wonder Woman.
Okay.
So we're not gonna talk about that bank thing. That.
Oh, you like lamb to the slaughter.
Like,
that scene
did you get your dialogue out of a fucking storybook? Hell.
Her action. Okay. First of all, Gal Gadot can do Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, I'll give her that. She can do the moves, but the moves they make her do are just ridiculous. Like, is she a speedster or is she?
I'm gonna push back on those because I actually like this fight scene better than the original one.
You like her blowing a man up out of a building that didn't need to be exploded
That's
when she
not
just
the point.
stopped it from being exploded?
Well, she did it away from the people, so I guess it helps.
Oh, what about those people on the street?
yeah, because
Fuck
remember when
those
that explosion hit, all those rocks and rubble hit police officer and random
That's
passersby.
par for the course for a Snyderverse superhero.
So here's my problem.
Kill 4 to save 1.
It is. And that one is in a coma.
That was people under that explosion.
So here's the thing that I'm gonna get at when you were talking about the super speed shit. You know it would be just a whole lot easier. Just let her fly. Why did you take that away from her?
Well, he didn't know about it.
When they make
It's fucking Wonder Woman.
But this was before 1984 came out, and before then she wasn't flying.
I know it's a weird time thing. In 1984,
she
she was
didn't fly in this movie.
Yeah, that's because Zack Snyder doesn't let her fly.
Do she need the sand armor to fly? Does it have wings?
No.
So
yeah, and last thing, my last thing on her. I hate it. I hate her accent. I'm gonna just say it. She should not give. She should not
That's
give.
just how she talks.
She should not give exposition.
That's just how she talks.
Wonder Woman cannot give exposition.
I just think
No.
Look, I haven't watched the
No.
Wonder Woman movies.
No.
But in this movie, one of the things that I thought was really cringy was during the Superman fight scene. And it just comes off so bad. She's like, Kal-El, wait! And I was like, y'all couldn't reshoot that?
That's how she talks.
I'm glad that y'all brought that up. So we in a world where people don't know that Superman and Clark Kent are the same people.
Mm-mm.
So they
don't care.
So Superman comes to life and he goes to the statue that got knocked down, surrounded by police and random passerby.
Military, Star Labs,
And
people.
everyone,
Clark!
the mother, calling him by his Kansas name.
Clark!
Hey, Clark!
Here's your driver's license.
Like in that scene, Wonder Woman was the only one actually protecting his identity, which he's been trying to do his entire life.
Hey, how did she know that name?
Batman probably told her.
How did he know that name?
They went to the funeral.
Kal-El was.
They went to Kal-El.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because the last time
I mean, how did Martian Manhunter know about Darkseid?
how did she know that name? Because the only interaction they had with Superman was they were fighting Doomsday.
He died the moment they
I
met each
figured
other.
since Bruce was talking to Martha or Lois or
Probably
somebody,
feel all the
Martha wouldn't know that.
Martha, his mother, would have
No.
known her son's name?
That is fair. She wouldn't know that because the ship revealed his name.
Yeah,
to
but
him.
he wouldn't tell his mom?
When would she? When would he?
I would
After
say,
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel.
After Man of Steel.
Okay.
He would
I
have
think-
told his mom?
I think Martha would have known.
Exactly.
But how did everybody else know?
Yeah, why would she bring that? Oh, his real name was
Listen,
Kyle.
Lois
Bell.
is a reporter. She spills the beans for a living.
Yeah, she do talk shit.
What else does? Okay, no.
So,
the secret superhero that anyone spotted, and I'm not talking about the Atom.
no.
No, go ahead, reveal.
Okay. When they go to Gotham, Commissioner Gordon is talking to another police officer,
A black man.
His name is Crispus. Crispus is the Spectre.
Okay.
For those who don't know.
The
Spectre
Spectre
is the
is
right hand of God.
yeah.
Oh.
He could have boxed with Steppenwolf too.
He could have.
To be fair, you have to die to become the Spectre. So he ain't the Spectre yet.
The Spectre is when shit goes wrong in the universe, God sends the Spectre to go wreck shit.
Okay.
But I guess he was busy, so Ares had to do. God was like, nah, it's handled.
So, well, speaking of that fight, speaking of which, I love the fact that that the Green Lantern died because his willpower was weak.
He died because he had no imagination.
Yeah, like when I'm seeing his beams and I'm like, bro, where's that?
in the
There's
Whedon,
no like giant like sword.
Exactly.
in the other one, he created giant hammers that was wrecking the skies. But in this one,
But I guess Snyder was like, fuck the Green Lantern. I hate them. He don't like Superman. he like Batman and Batman.
You sure Zack Snyder isn't Lex Luthor?
Probably.
so let's get to my next bag.
Oh, we forgot about Barry.
No, I'm going back to him.
Okay.
The Flash.
Mhm.
So, everybody was talking about, when Josh Whedon had the Flash lay on top of Wonder Woman, that was insensitive, blah, 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 blah. Cut to the Snyder cut. Well, we run into poor Barry Allen. And I mean poor because he ain't got no money. He broke shit. And he sees this young black lady who isn't identified get into a car accident, and he goes to save her.
Let me stop you real quick. Before that, he was like, wow, I wish I could choke the shit out of her.
So,
Because that's what he fucking does. Before we go on, yes, they told us it was Iris, but the movie didn't say that. So as far as we're concerned, unidentified black woman.
just like the movie never told us his name was Ooksis. So she gets into a car accident looking at Barry because he's such a thing.
No, she gets into a
such
car.
a-
wait.
The truck driver dropped his hamburger.
Anyway,
He
she
dropped
gets,
a Wendy's 4 for 4.
don't care. She gets into an accident and Barry goes to save her. There's a moment where he stops time because apparently young Barry Allen can stop time anytime he wants. He stops time and creepily starts caressing her face as a hot dog waiter is sitting there floating next to her face. If you talking about some creepy shit, I don't know. Zack Snyder look at this like, hey, maybe we should cut this out.
First, a couple of things. One, this is just me, and some people do this. You knew your car was beat up for a while now. And I get that you probably went to that job interview saying, I'm going to get this job, I'm going to fix my car, and everything will be cool.
Maybe she was just looking for a puppy.
I assume she was there for a job application because if she got the money to buy a fucking puppy, she got the money to fix that damn catalytic converter. And she had the nerve to have the top down like her car ain't broke.
Anyway, the next Flash moment that I would like to go to is, see, in the Whedon version. I hate calling it the Whedon version because that was it was a lot of Zack.
The Whedon version is literally the Zack Snyder version cut down.
Exactly, that's all it was. In the last version, it made sense that the Flash was pulling people out one at a time because technically Barry's not a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, this motherfucker's just going up and down the stairs as motherfuckers is running up. The most insulting one is when Cyborg's dad is at the bottom, out of breath, and wheezing. And he's like, "You okay?" Pick his ass up and take him outside.
Exactly. Or if I'm Aquaman, motherfucker, come over here and help us put hands on Steppenwolf.
Aquaman wasn't there.
And that,
Oh yeah, that's right. He didn't.
and that was another thing. In the original Justice League, the place where Steppenwolf goes to create his whole like radioactive base, there are still people living there. And in this one, it felt like they were just like, okay, well, if we get all the people out, then we can make as much damage as we want to.
Mm-hmm.
And
It didn't make sense for people to be living there, but sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think we done filmed all that family shit.
Yeah.
Which was dumb, and I'm glad they got rid of that.
So
sticking on Barry Allen, I'm still confused on exactly how they call it time in a bottle, and I'm pretty sure you guys have seen the reviews about how they do speedsters and movies and whatnot.
Yeah.
Stop doing it. Where everything around you slows down and you're just moving normal speed or whatever. In a sense, it kind of doesn't make sense.
I think it's hilarious that folks give Quicksilver shit in those X-Men movies, and Barry Allen did the same thing, but it was so much worse. But Zack Snyder is a genius.
Well, here's the part that gets me. They literally, so in the other version, Barry was used to get people out of town. They literally told this motherfucker to go run around in a circle till we ready. And that's supposed to be the genius part. And then apparently he failed. And this is why I hate time travel and shit a lot. Because apparently they fail, but Barry is able to rewind time to where they don't and make it in time. That's bullshit.
Yep.
but I think
Oh, and apparently this was strong enough to kill a Kryptonian.
the mother box killed him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Apparently that was strong enough to kill a Kryptonian. But, okay,
I
whatever.
mean, if it can bring it back to life.
Yeah. They said the mother box creates and destroys.
Yeah.
So I figured that they used that whole Barry rewind time thing because they've done it on the TV show so many times that it's almost what people expect to see.
No,
Zack Snyder just wanted them to fail.
No. You see, in the TV shows, which I'm pretty sure you never watch, he never controls directly where he goes. He just pops up at a time, which makes sense because this is a young Barry Allen. The fact that he can run and choose how much time he can pull back is a little ridiculous.
I don't know.
Yeah, because even he says he's not supposed to fuck with the Speed Force. So that lets me know you don't know how to control it.
Okay. And is Barry Allen broke or not?
Oh no, his warehouse says differently.
You're right. His reinforced astronaut suit says differently.
Maybe he just redistributes wealth to himself.
I think, like Cyborg. Or he stole it. Because
That's what I meant by redistributing wealth to himself.
He a thief. We ready to get on this ending?
Now it's time to bring on the next bag. Who wants this one?
Let's talk about Cyborg's father dying unnecessarily.
Oh, go ahead.
And not only did he die unnecessarily, I felt like they set it up for him to die in this dramatic way, and then he just kind of shrivels up in the corner. But, so we are under the impression that he took the mother box into that whole super collider thing to blow it up or destroy it, when in actuality he was heating it up to leave a signature on it so that they can track it. No.
I mean, at first I was like, well, you're a scientist. You know that it can't be blown up like that. Why are you wasting your time? You just died for nothing. And then I realized that he was charging it so that they could find it. And then I was like, so again, Steppenwolf was like 20 feet away. You couldn't have slid your ass out the glass.
Exactly. Like you could have gotten out.
So you didn't die?
Well, not just that, but why did they need that? Couldn't the world's greatest detective figure out that there's a strong energy signal coming from this decommissioned radioactive place?
You mean with the 6 satellites he have in it?
Yeah, with the 6 satellites that he has. You tell me Batman couldn't figure that out? He had to die.
No, it's too hard.
Okay.
So it's funny you say that because my mom asked when Alfred showed up on the screen, she was like, "Who's that?" And my brother said Batman facetiously, and I was like, "No, he's right."
He is. Bruce Wayne even says that when the League gets there, he's like, "This is Alfred. I work for him."
Like, Alfred runs the show, and Bruce Wayne just ignores his
Exactly.
He makes Batman look so incompetent. It's not even funny.
Because he is incompetent.
Well, yeah, in this movie.
Yeah,
is.
this movie he's
Because
incompetent.
if he was Aquaman, he wouldn't be doing shit.
That's
That's why that boy's father died. That's why that boy's father died.
What did Aquaman do wrong in this movie?
Nothing. He did what he was told.
He told the truth.
It was literally the only voice of reason.
He was on point. I think are we ready to move into the final act?
Yeah, go for it.
So before we even get to the final, because there were 3 endings to this movie, so I'm going to address one of them. Joe Manganiello was bitching and complaining that Joss Whedon cut down his end credit scene, and there was supposed to be some more stupendous stuff happening in that scene. No.
It was the same thing.
It was the exact same scene. Only thing different that happened was Lex Luthor told him that Batman was Bruce Wayne.
See, Joe Manganiello was doing this thing called gaslighting.
It seems like everybody who works on DC movies are real good at that shit.
Yeah.
Because it was literally 2 more minutes of extra conversation, him drinking a drink and finding out that Bruce Wayne was Batman.
And on top of that, they cut out the part where Lex was like, we're going to make a league of our own. So he actually cut some shit out of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
He did cut some stuff.
How would we get to see Lois Lane's pregnancy test otherwise?
You right.
Yeah,
We needed to know.
Because that's important that she fucked Batman.
So let's get to the nightmare scene. That was so
It was a nightmare.
It was so unnecessary. This was supposed to redeem 30 Seconds to Mars for his Joker performance. What's his name?
Jared
I
Leto.
don't care.
But did you notice that they pulled that he was only able to pull the toxic people to be in this thing? He pulled the husband beater, he pulled the woman choker, he pulled Jared Leto, who apparently sends used condoms to people he works on movies with.
I'm sorry, I forgot what you meant by woman choker.
The Flash.
And Cyborg and Joe Manganiello, who can't get jobs, so they definitely
you forgot. You may have mentioned her, but the lady who shits on people's beds.
Yeah, the husband beater.
Yeah, the husband
Yeah, I
beater.
already said that.
The husband beater.
So she.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought that was just a funny joke.
No. She went in the Johnny's Depp bed and took a shit because that's what your leading lady needs to do. But yeah, all the toxic people were pulled in this scene, and this was supposed to salvage Jared Leto's Joker. This was supposed to be the great Joker that he was supposed to be. This was the most shit can thing I ever seen in my life. You talking about something unnecessary?
First of all that rack focusing on Joker's image. I'm gonna be honest with you. That wasn't art. They shot it wrong, and they didn't have any more footage. And they
I
was
saw
like,
the behind the scenes. Zack Snyder was sitting on a car hood with a mask on, camera right there.
And that was the best he could do.
that was the best because it was all rack focused. That looked horrible.
Well, you see in this movie, that is the best he could do.
And then like that big fucking speech that signified nothing, and Batman trying to act
It
hard.
was just him calling Batman a bitch in too many ways.
And Joker was like, "No, I'm not. You're a bitch." That was literally it.
It was like, everybody, you better watch what the fuck you say next. And then, and then tried him, and then Batman was like, that was the wrong thing to say. And I'm like, well, you ain't slapping him up about it or anything like that. So
You
obviously,
saying that like I'm gonna kill you,
and then,
I mean, why shouldn't he do that? Because we have a Batman that just goes around murdering people, but except for the Joker.
Exactly.
and then
I'm surprised Joker's response wasn't, "No, you ain't. You would have did that years ago."
And Joker's like, he said something along the lines of, I'd be threatened, but like, I killed a Robin, so it doesn't even matter. Then Batman goes on this honestly misogynistic rant if you look at it from my point of view. But he's like, what about that time when I choked that bitch Harley Quinn out, playing all over in my arms and shit? And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, why did we need to hear that?
And you know what was so weird about that? One, like Joker would care. Like Joker would really care. And two, I didn't watch Birds of Prey, but judging by stuff that I've
Joker
seen.
is emotionally manipulative, and he was abusive towards Harley Quinn.
You don't say.
No, not bringing that up. It was just like, what's your?
But that's
literally
my point. Like Bruce, you're supposed to be one of the smartest men on the planet, and you thought that was gonna fly.
It was literally, he was like, oh shit, my penis looks small. I gotta figure out how to make it look big. And I'm like, what the fuck?
All this was a.
So the other thing I wanted to say about that made it not make sense to me was, by the end of Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn was kind of a good guy.
Emancipated.
Hold on, wait a second. We're getting off topic.
No, we not.
I know. We're saying fuck
She
Harley.
wasn't a good guy.
She's an anti-hero.
I know.
I'm trying to wrap it up. Jesus. Because I know what you're trying to say. And Harley Quinn, she's an anti-hero, and Joker wouldn't really care about her, and blah, 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 blah.
It's almost like he's the Martian Manhunter. He's showing more telepathy than the actual one.
All of a sudden, the guys were them trying to hire for Superman, who shows up at the end, who's not even Henry Cavill, because he wouldn't even show to do this shit. Now, that wasn't Henry Cavill.
It looked like him, but it wasn't.
That was not Henry Cavill at the end. That was just some dude.
He
He was shooting The Witcher.
No.
It wasn't Henry
He
Cavill.
was just like, I am doing literally anything.
He's like, yes, I'm not.
So it's like
back.
I said, all the toxic people came back.
It wasn't Henry Cavill, it was Harry Cabinet. This movie is the equivalent of.
Okay, let's go before we stress.
No. This nigga said Harry Cabinet. that took me out. I need a second process.
So the best analogy I can think of, and it's gonna get loose, so I'm just gonna put this out there. This movie is like having a 12-inch penis and it can't get erect.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is.
I'm just like, you could have used any other symbolism.
I want to go.
I mean, it was extra long and it didn't pay off for anything.
He's not wrong. I want to go around the room.
No one got an orgasm.
I want to go.
And the ones that say they did are faking it.
I want to go around the room and give everybody their final say about this. Who wants to start it off?
Me. F, and I hope you get shot in the street. You disrespected everybody's time, and I'll never forgive you for that. I'm serious. I'll never forgive him for that. I will never watch another Zack Snyder anything. And this is why I feel so strongly about this. Everybody at the table knows this. After after Justice League, I made a solemn vow that I would never, ever buy or watch a DC movie until they made 3 good ones in a row. And I went out of my way to give this another shot. And you let me down. I knew you would, but I really wanted to give you a shot.
His feelings are hurt.
My feelings are goddamn hurt. She not wrong. I'm gonna tell this story on camera because the public doesn't know and you don't know. When we saw Batman v Superman, no bullshit, I was crying when the movie went on. Because I was that mad.
Not because it was a masterpiece.
Not because it was a masterpiece. Not because it moved me to sadness. I was so mad. because this movie was the first time a real life Batman and a real life Superman was ever on screen at the same time. And Wonder Woman 2. Were ever on screen at the same time.
The Trinity.
You will never get that first time ever again. And he fucked it up so bad. I was so pissed.
I remember the opening credits after Batman went into that whale. He flew back up.
I was
The
like,
theater was quiet. He said, "What the fuck is that?"
Meanwhile, Marvel out here
That's what I felt watching this.
putting out Rocket Raccoon on the fucking movie theaters, and they weren't playing. And I don't mean like, here's a joke, Rocket Raccoon. No, they was like, here's a 3-dimensional character, a fucking raccoon.
And Zack Snyder, like, I feel like a Batman movie is a basic bitch superhero movie. Am I wrong to feel that way? I feel like you can't fuck that up. Especially in today's times.
It's
And
okay.
he fucked it up 3 times. 4 if you count the Snyder cut.
Okay, say it. I need you to go and tell.
He owe me money.
Say it. Go ahead.
So I agree with all of that. I'm gonna just say, take some editing lessons. I don't know who this was for. People are saying real DC fans. If you're a real DC fan, you should be ashamed of this movie. Zack Snyder is not. I think I heard someone else say it. Zack Snyder is not as good as a filmmaker as you think he is. Somebody else should have took a second, third, fourth, fifth look at this movie before they put this out on HBO Max. And for people who want a Snyderverse to continue after this,
Meet me in the parking lot. I'll give you
it's going down.
Christian.
Like I said before, this movie is the equivalent of having a 12-inch penis and it can't get erect. But for some reason, you were still able to fuck WB. Because they was the ones that had to bring out that put this on there and thought they was gonna make big dollar money or whatever, and the motherfuckers was desperate. So congratulations, you were able to fuck something with you was able to fuck something while you were flaccid.
Go ahead.
Well, I didn't think it was that bad, but
You're lying.
No. Let her speak her piece. This is her time.
it was better than the original. But I don't want to say that because you just mentioned dicks. I hope.
Say it.
You in a safe space.
I'm unsatisfied.
I bet you are.
A lot of people were.
Please move it on.
Okay, so let me give.
Because the people that made this movie don't know what a G spot is.
Goodbye.
This movie was pandered to the lowest common denominator. Was it better than the original? In places, it actually was. Like we mentioned, there were some actually good aspects of this movie, but they were outweighed by the bad. After watching this movie and comparing it to the last version, it looked like Josh Whedon just literally trimmed out, just edited what was there from the Snyder Cut, because a lot of what was in this movie was in the old version. It's not a distinctly different movie. It's the same movie with filler here and there.
Like it follows the same through line.
Exactly.
He took out the filler, he took out the rated R stuff, and he tried to pad it back up with a Band-Aid.
With a Band-Aid. And he did the best he could with that.
Used.
And this movie was supposed to be the shining light, and all it did was fall dark. And I want to put it out there because this wasn't made for the casual person. This was literally made
Not
for a toxic fandom and that's what it appears to, because it follows the same beats. And it was like, all right, we're going to put fan service here and fan service here. Like Martian Manhunter does not make sense in this context because you just threw him in there. The ending sequence doesn't make sense.
Because now you say that just tells me that Martian Manhunter loses in the sequel.
Yeah.
Because he's not anywhere in the future sequence.
Yeah.
And he was no help.
But all you showing is you just added this stuff. Oh, I'll put the Omega Beam in there because this is what my Snyder fans want. And I want to end it with this. And I'm not trying to bash him, but I'm looking at DC properties overall, and this is something that we were talking about earlier today that we was looking at. And it was like, none of the top rated or highest grossest films in the DC universe belong to Zack Snyder.
Nope.
Not
Are you
one.
talking about the current DC movie?
current
The
DC
entire
movies,
the
the
entire
entire
conglomerate of DC movies.
Not one of them belongs to Zack Snyder.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
And he gave you, this is supposed to be from his mind, unfiltered. And what shows you as a stan instead of a fan is that the same problems that a lot of people had with the other one still exist in this one, but they won't call it out because they're such a fan of the director. Your love for the director should not shine the property.
And let me say something in addition to that. You talked about the difference between fans and stans. Like,
So there's been a lot of discourse over whether Snyder's fans are toxic or not, and you call them a toxic fandom, and I 100% agree with you. And do you know why? Because the moment this movie dropped, now everybody is like, they need to. We're gonna get online and we're gonna force WB to let Zack Snyder make the other 2 Justice League movies he wants to make.
First of
Even
all,
though they explicitly said this is it, we're not letting him do anymore.
but anyway, this movie didn't break the mold. It didn't push the needle. Did they have good parts? Yes, they had a lot more negative parts as well. And honestly, it was just a waste of 4 hours for me because
What was the message at the end of
I
the
will
thing?
never watch this movie again.
Never.
Me neither.
What was
And even worse, now DC owe me 6 movies in a row.
No,
So-
I mean of the film. What was the message of the
The
film?
message of the film was if you yell out enough, you get what you
The
want.
message of the film is get rid of Batman because he fucks up everything.
Exactly.
Honestly, yeah. So thank you guys for joining us for this episode of the Justice League.
Don't call it.
Sorry.
I'm not on that team.
So yeah, so thank you guys for joining us for this episode of the Justice Review. There were some things that we liked about it. Of course, there were some improvements. I mean, with 4 hours, I would hope that there would be some improvements. But there was also some things that just walked it back. Like we mentioned in the forefront, Cyborg was a good plus, but then all the extra padding and slow motion was unnecessary. But like we said, like and subscribe. We'll cover many more shows, superhero-based shows, sci-fi shows on the next run. But until next time, I ain't doing this again.
Especially for this movie.
Tune into next time when the twins complain about everything again.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if you don't like it, there's I'm gonna complain.